Chapter 1. Writing for the Web. Learning Outcomes. After you finish this chapter, you will be able to distinguish between traditional and online journalism, understand what is essential in online journalism, know some tactics for successful online writing, know some tactics for headlines, keywords, and search terms to attract readers. Similarities and differences with traditional journalism. While the internet has opened the doors to an exciting new mix of forms and the profession itself is still exploring their potential, there are still some aspects that make journalism journalism rather than literature, gossip, a diary, promotional writing or propaganda. The first is that it tries to be an accurate representation of fact. It can be objective or subjective, reportage or opinion, but its value lies in its truth claim. The second is that journalism undergoes some form of filtration or editing so that someone other than the journalist assesses it before it is published in order to counter bias, inaccuracies or other weaknesses. Third, it tells the complete story, usually involving the classic who, where, why, what, when and how of 101 class. Fourth, it tells a story offering insights into the way the world is, the way people behave in ways that can entertain, educate, inform and inspire the reader. These four merge into the fifth essential of journalism. It places the reader as central to its existence. You write it for someone else rather than as a form of self-expression. How readers read. The first thing to consider is how the reader assesses the story. The internet follows more closely the newspaper model than the TV news broadcast model, in that the content is presented for them to pick and choose what they consume, in the manner of a smorgasbord rather than a menu dégustation. There are three forms of online readers of news: scanners, searchers and subscribers, and each accesses the news in different ways. Hence, online journalism must be created in ways that intersect with the reader's consumption habits. Scanners will have preferred websites or apps that gather news for them to access. It can be a branded site delivering proprietary content such as The Times or Corriere della Sera, or a curatorial site that aggregates from other sources such as Dig. This is similar to a traditional newspaper in which the editorial team selects what is of importance and the readers scan the headlines and choose the stories they want. Like hunter-gatherers, they scour the area looking for information on their environment to help them make informed decisions. As an online journalist, you attract attention by making stories visible, engaging and relevant to the reader's needs. Searchers set out to find information on a topic that has caught their interest. They are more like hunters with a specific prey in mind. That said, the internet has many distractions, and it is not unusual for even the most focused searcher to be tempted by other stories. As a result, you must make stories sufficiently relevant to be visible to searchers and sufficiently attractive to lure even those searching for something else. Searchers are fickle, however, and are not loyal to any one news site. In fact, most Americans who use the internet for news say they end up at sites they don't know the names of. Subscribers identify areas that interest them: political news, football, cooking, Hollywood gossip, and subscribe to websites that push content to them. To stretch the prehistoric metaphor, they are like chieftains who have abandoned the thrill of the chase to have food and information brought to them. However, they will still leap to action and scan or search for themselves if their usual channels do not deliver. Journalists might think that they do not have to work, hard anyway, to keep these readers. However, competition is ever present, and even subscribers will turn to other sources if their chosen ones fail to deliver what they want. Headlines and keywords. One constant is that many readers will look for more information by typing search terms or keywords either into their preferred news site or a search engine such as Google. As a result, online journalism must be written with search engine optimization, SEO, in mind. Currently, the internet is best searched using text, and as a result, the online journalist must consider the words most likely to be used. Whether they are scanners, searchers, or subscribers, readers will see a headline and sometimes the first paragraph of a story first and then click or not. As in traditional journalism, the headline and the lead paragraphs must work hard. Decide what is most important, the person at the center of the story, where it took place or what happened, and place that at the front of the headline. So, for example, this emotion-drenched lead may have been fun to write and could work in a newspaper. To everyone with a beloved pet, it was a shocking image. Outrage around the globe found an outlet online as people asked, how could anyone do this? It would fail online, however, as it is too vague and contains no likely keywords. It would be better to be more direct and include keywords as in, a shocking video of a dog being dragged behind a car in China has started a manhunt for the person responsible. On a larger level, the Eyjafjallajökull volcano erupted in 2010, causing havoc to air travel and newsreaders alike. As well as being unpronounceable, Eyjafjallajökull was not a common keyword in web searches, so shrewd online journalists used more common keywords such as Iceland volcano. One approach is to think, if I'd only just heard about this, what would I Google? Imperative verbs, which instruct the reader to do something such as watch or help, can drive readers to click on a story. However, given the explosion of clickbait headlines that tell readers what to do or think, such as, watch how this baby dances, you won't believe your eyes, or this Hong Kong student story is the most shocking thing you'll read today, it is unlikely that imperative headlines will stay effective for long. Finally, abbreviations are the enemy of keywords. Searches for Manchester United will not register Man U or United, even if there are common parlance among fans. However, commonly used acronyms such as NATO or AIDS can be used as SEO keywords because they have become commonly used. Indeed, few people would be able to say what the initials NATO stand for. This also means that the clever punning headlines rarely work online. At the time of writing, police are using pepper spray and tear gas on a student demonstration in Hong Kong. The headline, "Police violence makes students weep," lacks the vital SEO keywords. Hong Kong, demonstration, tear gas. That would bring searchers to the story. It also lacks the relevance to reader interests that scanners and subscribers demand. They might not recognize it as something they want to read. A more functional headline with essential SEO keywords, terms, works better. Police use tear gas on Hong Kong student protesters. The good news is that this forces the journalist to really understand what the story is about and what it would mean for the reader. It also gives the journalist a tweet or a short message to use to promote the story on social media. Grabbing readers' attention extends to the use of pictures too. Just as a contents page can show just the headline and a few words on each story, so the picture is also reduced. That means details work better than scenes. To return to the Hong Kong protests, a picture of a policeman squirting pepper spray shot from the student's perspective is more effective at persuading the reader to click on the story than a helicopter's eye view of 10,000 people on a street. Tactics for web writing. Online readers want short, sharp information. The classic news structure, the inverted pyramid, is ideal as it packages everything important into the first couple of paragraphs and then fills in the detail later for readers who want to continue. This style goes beyond the lead, however. Each paragraph should be 3 sentences maximum. Each sentence should be 20 to 30 words. Each paragraph should focus on one idea, preferably introduced in the first sentence, and each word should be chosen to make it count in order to use as few as possible, because the reading level of the average internet reader is lower than that of the average journalist. The internet is global too, so many readers may not have English as their first language. The internet is a playground more than a worksite, and the reader is exposed to many temptations to quit an article halfway through, so few expect a reader to make it to the end. This is even more true when reading on the small screen of a smartphone, where the audience primarily browses rather than reading a full article. Even so, long-form journalism finds a home on tablet devices with larger screens and a natural place as a tool for relaxation, while the PC is for work and the smartphone for mobility. So online journalism is not just about writing short. Nevertheless, long-form journalism may be better done using the internet's interactive multimedia capabilities. Here are other online news writing tips. Chunking. People read text on screen around 25% slower than on the page, so articles tend to be shorter online. Break text into chunks of 100 to 200 words with the line space in between. Be aware, however, that each space is an invitation to stop, so online journalism has to work harder at building transitions between paragraphs so the story flows. Subheadings. These break up solid grey slabs of text and suggest that the article will be easier to read. Bullet points and lists. These perform a similar function with an added attraction that they present facts quickly and effectively, making reading simpler and faster. Bold and italic text. Again, this helps the reader ascertain what is important quickly, but avoid underlining text, as on the web this indicates a hyperlink and readers may be frustrated if they click on it and nothing happens. Scrolling versus pagination. It is a challenge for a reader to scroll down a long article, as it is easy to lose one's place. Pagination, where each screen has an arrow leading onto the next, is simpler and makes it more likely that the reader will continue to the end. If possible, each page should end with a page turner, a question or a dilemma that forces the reader to click. A bonus is that each click counts as a page view, so a 1,000-word, 5-page paginated article will register 5 times as many page views as a 1,000-word scroll-down article if a reader reads to the end. This helps boost the metrics of a web story. The more page views, the more advertising can be sold for that page, and the greater the revenue to the web page and ultimately to you. Non-linear stories. Traditional media offer linear storytelling. Online media offer the reader the chance to create the story by linking away from the page, more like a collage than a painting. Again, the bad news is that every time a reader clicks on a link to access another part of the collage, they might not return. The good news is that a well-written article is just the kind of thing other sites will want to link to, so someone else's loss can become your gain. The watchword is link unto others' good stuff as you would have them link unto your good stuff. Finally, there are some basic rules of credible journalism. Spelling and grammar must be accurate, online as in print. The reader will wonder if the writer cannot get simple facts correct, what else have they got wrong? The story must be strong, that is, worth reading, relevant to the reader and with an angle. Well written, free from jargon and with an enticing lead. These are important to mention, as there is an underlying belief that on the internet such things do not matter, and that readers approach online journalism less seriously because it exists on the same platform as blogs, Facebook, Wikipedia, TripAdvisor and other sites where honesty, accuracy and good writing are not big considerations. Yet, online journalism must distinguish itself from these by continuing to employ the values that have given it credibility. Online journalism needs to be better than print journalism, not a pale imitation of it. The good news is that according to a survey of news consumers in 52 nations, 3/4 are prepared to pay for news content that is of high quality, is not simply shovelware copied and pasted from a newspaper or television program. Being prepared to pay is not the same as paying, but it is a step in the right direction for all online journalists who wish to be paid for their work. Summary. This chapter looked at what makes online journalism different from traditional journalism and which aspects of it are the same. It identified some tactics such as using keywords for search engine optimization and chunking, which make an online story easier to find and to read. All of this is based on an understanding of how searchers, scanners and subscribers access and consume news. Critical reflection. Think about your own use of online journalism and how you consume it by asking yourself the following 4 questions. Am I usually a scanner, a searcher or a subscriber? And when do I do each of those? Do I access news on the web for fast, regular updates or to get a deeper understanding of events? Do I think of online journalism as being the same as, better than or lesser than traditional journalism? Why? What online journalism am I prepared to pay for?